Hey everyone, it's Brittany. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Brittany for those of you who are new, and in today's video I will be doing a self-tanning routine, but I'm also showing you guys some tips on how to get like a really flawless tan. You're also probably wondering, why are you so pale and doing a self-tanning routine? Well, I actually did self-tan. This is actually me a little bit tan. That is like so sad. Yeah, that's actually a tan. And this shirt is like giving me major summer vibes, even though outside isn't. I basically haven't seen the sun for like 5 months probably. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, like I said, I will be showing you guys my self-tanning routine, even though I don't look super dark right now, but because I live in an area that rains a lot during the spring and winter months, I don't see much sun, so it wouldn't really make sense for me to be very, very dark right now. So in the video, I will be using like a medium color just to kind of look like I have a little bit more of a glow than I usually do, so hopefully you guys don't mind. But the purpose of the video is a little bit more focused on actual tips on how to get a flawless tan, so it doesn't really matter what tan you're using or what color you're using, because sometimes I do use a much darker tan, especially in the summer or when I'm going away or something, so just apply these steps to basically whatever you use. Okay, so make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel if you are new here, and let's get started. My first self-tanning hack is to exfoliate your skin. Everybody says this and they are all right. It is very important to exfoliate before you do a self-tanner. And it is super important because you want to get rid of all of the dead skin that the self-tanner could potentially cling to, especially if you have dry skin like I do. I like to exfoliate everywhere, especially focusing on your elbows and knees, because that is typically where you have a lot of really dry skin. I really love to use the Ocean Salt exfoliator from Lush because it does an amazing job at getting rid of all of the dead skin, especially on like really tough areas, like I said, your elbows or your knees. And I even do sometimes like to exfoliate my hands because they are so dry right now. My second tip is to shave the day before you do your self-tanner. This tip may not actually be necessary for everybody, but for me specifically it is, because my skin is very sensitive, so every time I shave, I tend to get like really dry skin around any area that I shave. So I like to do it the night before just to give my skin some time to heal and make sure that it's as smooth as possible before I actually do my self-tanner. My third tip is to moisturize. Moisturizing is an extremely important step of getting a flawless tan, and I definitely suggest to moisturize the night before, because you don't want too much moisturizer to really get in the way of actually absorbing the self-tanner, because it can actually prevent you from getting the darkest you want to be. I will moisturize my entire body the night before I do a self-tanner just to make sure that my skin has enough time to really absorb everything. And on the day of or right before you do your self-tanner, I highly suggest using a very generous amount of Vaseline on your elbows, knees, knuckles, and your toes. So basically any area of your body that is a little bit rougher or drier. Now I was really afraid to do this at first because I thought that I would have like white patches on my elbows or knees because the self-tanner probably like wouldn't absorb, but you really need a lot of moisture in those areas, or else you're going to get very dark elbows and knees and knuckles, and that's when you start getting like weird looking hands. So I use a lot, and when I do the actual self-tanner, and I use the St. Moritz tanner, it is my favorite one actually, and it's one of the more inexpensive options, and they do sell it at Ulta for like $12-ish, I'm pretty sure. So when I actually do go to use the self-tanner, I will use about 3 pumps on each arm, and I won't add any more when I'm doing my hands. I will just use whatever's left over on the mitt, and I basically just pat it onto my hand. I don't do too many like circular motions because that can kind of get a little bit more product onto your hands, and you really don't need much because they are typically drier and they will absorb more. I'm using a $1 Million Tan self-tanning mitt, and this one is my favorite ever from all of the tanning mitts that I've ever tried. There are very good ones out there though, from St. Tropez, or even the ones that you get from Ulta for like $5, but this one is definitely my favorite. I have been reusing one for so long. You basically just need to rinse it out afterwards and it's like brand new. As for the rest of my body, I will typically use about 3 pumps per each part of my body. So I'll use 2 to 3 pumps on my stomach or back, and then I will use about 3 pumps on my lower legs, and then 3 pumps on my thighs. But of course you guys could use less or more. It all just depends on how much you need to cover a certain area of your body. My fourth hack is actually one that I mentioned in a video a very long time ago, and it's been something that I've been doing for years since I started self-tanning, and it's probably my favorite. And that is to use baby powder on areas of your body that get sweaty while you're waiting for your tan to develop. So if you've ever self-tanned in the summer, or if you live in a very humid area, a lot of the times the area of your body that will get really sweaty is the inside of your elbows for some reason. I have seen so many people, including myself, that have had like the big patch that has like worn off on your inner elbow because you move around a lot while you're waiting for your tan to develop. And ever since I started using baby powder on areas like that, I don't have that problem at all anymore. It's basically like setting the self-tanner and it just won't move. And in case you guys are curious, I do actually use the talc-free baby powder, and it's basically just like scented cornstarch, so it actually smells really good at the same time, and you can put it on your armpits or the back of your knees, or maybe around your neck or something if you tend to get a little bit more sweaty. Especially if it is really hot outside, you kind of just get sweaty everywhere, so you can really use baby powder wherever you want. And then you just want to wait for your self-tanner to develop, and it could be anywhere from 2 to even 8 hours, and you basically just want to rinse it off with water. So you don't need to use soap or anything to rinse it off. I will use a little bit of a gentle soap and just rub the tanner off, and you don't want to scrub anything after you've done your self-tanner because that will basically immediately start removing it. So I kind of just like to let the water run all over my body, and then sometimes in certain areas I will just use my hand to kind of like help the tan guard come off. But yeah, my elbows aren't patchy, my hands aren't patchy, so I think I did a pretty good job. My very last self-tanning hack is for those of you guys who like to sleep in your self-tan while it develops, and that is to obviously have either very dark sheets or have a separate pair of sheets just for sleeping in them, or you can do this new thing that I just discovered and I was so extremely happy about it, and I don't have it yet, so I'm hoping by the time I actually have this video uploaded I can show you guys clips of it. But it's from a company called Tansy, and they actually make slips that you basically sleep in your bed while you wait for your self-tan to develop. It's kind of like a satin sheet, like sleeping bag type thing that you put into your bed, so you can leave your regular sheets on and you basically just sleep in your own little like unit. And it has like a flap that goes over the top of your sheets or your comforter, so if you like to sleep with your arms outside of the comforter, you're not gonna get like self-tanner all over it. So yeah, hopefully by the time this video goes up I will have the video clips and you will have seen what they actually look like. I'll leave a link to it below if you guys want to check it out because it's seriously amazing. So that is it for my self-tanning routine and some hacks for getting a flawless tan, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you haven't done that yet. If you guys have any other tanning hacks or parts of your tanning routine that you really want to share with everybody and help somebody out, then definitely leave them in the comments below because I would love to see them too. But anyways, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!